What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show again on a Monday. If you're missing my Lane Johnson injury update as well as an NFC playoff picture look, go ahead and just go back to my channel because I literally finished going with that show, getting it out, uploading, everything done for you guys, and then I get back on Twitter and there's an Avonte Maddox update. So we got to do two separate shows. This one will be a lot shorter, but let's just go into the tweet, Ian Rapoport, and this one is actually bad news. The Johnson one's not good. I don't want to gloss over the fact that Lane Johnson does have a significant injury on his abdomen, but he can actually come back in the NFC playoffs. Not looking good for Avonte Maddox. Here's the update. Quote, Eagles cornerback Avonte Maddox suffered a significant toe injury per me and Mike Garfolo. He had his MRI this morning to confirm the news that he's out indefinitely. Philly does have CJ Gardner-Johnson eligible to come back off IR and is a possibility to play in the slot, end quote. So there you go. He's done. He's done for the year. And this, toe injuries are very tough because a lot of people say, oh, it's just his toe, but you got to run on your toe. You use your toes to sprint. Use your toes to cut. The toe is a significant part of the lower body, significant part of the foot, and the fact that it's significant in terms of the injury shows you that these has no chance of even making it, even if they were to go deep into the playoffs, aka an NFC Championship game or possibly a Super Bowl. Now, I think we'll get more details on what exactly the toe injury is probably later on this afternoon, so follow me on Twitter at RealThomasMott. There's no update as this came out literally like 2 minutes ago, and I'm jumping on here to go ahead and do this show. Now, this is significant, and it's significant because of what Dallas did to Philadelphia on Sunday to kind of expose a weakness in the Eagles' secondary, right? We know how great Bradbury and Slay are, and Bradbury and Slay played very well on Sunday, as they have the entire year. Now, Slay, 3rd and 30 was an issue. Bradbury got cooked on a CeeDee Lamb touchdown. They weren't perfect, but what Dallas did, they took their one really good receiver, CeeDee Lamb, and they basically said, we're not going to let you line up Slay or James Bradbury over them. I mean, literally, it was motions across the formations. It was slot, the third guy closest to the line of scrimmage, in a bunch formation. They did everything they could to match up Maddox on CeeDee Lamb. And early on in this football game, Avonte Maddox was playing very well. Remember, he was coming back from a hamstring injury that he suffered that kept him out of, 4 games earlier on this year. But as soon as Avonte Maddox went out, in comes Josiah Scott, who's not bad. He's not trashed, but he's a backup, nickel cornerback for a reason, and they took heavy advantage of that, and CeeDee Lamb had a really big day. Now, I think that Philadelphia is going to have to put a lot of film and a lot of, I would say, study into the Dallas Cowboy game to figure out how to stop teams from doing that, because yes, the Saints don't have a very good receiver, yes, the Giants don't have a very good receiver, but you might play CeeDee Lamb again for a third time in the NFC Divisional Round playoffs, right? It could get really, really scary when you play him and then Debo potentially in an NFC Championship game or Justin Jefferson in an NFC Championship game. They need to figure out how to make sure that their best cornerbacks are with the best wide receiver of the opposing team. And it's not because Slay and Bradbury can't travel. It's just not the Gannon way, right? The Gannon defense doesn't have your cornerbacks move. They play a lot of zone, and they don't match up a lot of one-on-one in the slot, and so maybe that's an adjustment Gannon can make, but unlikely. They got to figure out what to do in terms of coverage for these guys. Now, you do see from the Ian Rapoport tweet that CJ Gardner-Johnson is eligible to come back off of IR and possibly play on Sunday. I mentioned I don't know if he will, right? Because, yes, it's an important game, but if it's a lacerated kidney and you want an extra week, he could sit one more week. Reed Blankenship's been fine, and he played pretty well against Dallas on Saturday afternoon. Kept saying that wrong. But there is a case where CJ Gardner-Johnson could play a lot more slot. The problem is that CJ, as good as he is in the slot, he's still not a great one-on-one cover corner like Avonte Maddox is, right? Gardner-Johnson was really balling out as a safety this year. He had 6 interceptions as a safety this year. And while you can keep Blankenship back there and make, Gardner-Johnson this hybrid guy, as they probably will, you'd much rather have Avonte Maddox be the nickel guy and then Gardner-Johnson be the safety in a perfect world. But that's not the case. So let me just give you some quick encouragement here as an Eagle fan. And you're an Eagle fan, I'm an Eagle fan. This feels like what happened in 2017. Remember, now not as big of a blow because it was the starting quarterback versus Philadelphia, whose starting quarterback should be able to play on Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. But this is what happens to good football teams. Every single team has significant injuries. The Bengals just lost their star, right tackle, left tackle. He's done for the year with a torn ACL, right? This happens to every single good team in the National Football League, some more than others. But the question is your core good enough? Is your team strong enough? Is your coaching staff adaptable enough to go ahead and make the right adjustments, figure things out, play with the backups, and still win football games? And I think the answer for Philadelphia is going to be unequivocally yes. The Eagles are still the best team in the NFC. They still have the best roster in the NFC. They still have key players at all the key positions. They're going to be okay. These are devastating blows, but you can't sit back during an NFL season and expect your team to never have an injury, to keep all of its guys, to never have any sort of adversity. Philadelphia has a lot of adversity, and I'll make the argument. I was going to do a show on Sunday, but it was Christmas, and so I didn't want to react to the Cowboys on Christmas Day, hang with the family and stuff like that. My reaction to the Cowboy game is good. You know what? good. And this might be naive of me to say because Philly winning on Saturday could have been massive for, playoff picture. You wrap up the 1 seed. The Saints game was irrelevant. This makes Philadelphia get a little bit of a gut check. They look themselves in the mirror and go, you know what? This was the first game we really got beat, like straight up beat. The Washington game was funky and had a lot of weird plays and some bad, ref calls and, non-penalties and blah, blah, blah. This was the first game, I think, of all year where Philadelphia got straight up beat, where they didn't look like the better team the entire day. Now, they looked good, but not the better team. Dallas played better overall. And I think this is a great gut check for Philadelphia to go, you know what, guys? We're really good. We still have things to work on. We need to batten down the hatches, win on Sunday. I think they crush the Saints, by the way. I think they absolutely obliterate the Saints. And then they can kind of have some get-right weeks and then go ahead and roll Dallas in an NFC divisional round. I really believe that. I think that the win on Saturday, after being depressed by it, trust me, I think in the end, Philadelphia is going to be better for it, even with these injuries. Not saying that I'm glad the injuries happened, not saying the Eagles are better because they don't have these players, not saying that, but I think they're better for it mentally, and they will come together a lot better than a lot of people realize. I still love Philadelphia going forward. You guys should too. So just want to jump on here on a Monday. Again, I don't want to ruin the Christmas holiday for you. I know the injuries are rough to go ahead and have happen, and I'll give them more updates as they come this week. So be sure to subscribe. But Maddox looks like he's done for the rest of the year, like the entire year, including the playoffs. But the Johnson injury, as I mentioned, is in a show from just a couple of minutes ago, so stay tuned. Or just go to my channel, and you will go ahead and get to go ahead and watch that one. So we'll see. It's tough. Hang in there. Plenty of updates later on this week, as I mentioned, back in my home studio on Wednesday, so thumbs up for that as we get some, the fun background stuff and all the lights going on behind me. The Thomas Mott Show sign my lovely girlfriend got for me. All that's coming back as soon as we go ahead and get back in Atlanta, so, of course, subscribe and stay tuned for that. I'm Thomas Mott, though. A lot of updates, a lot of injuries. We'll get you guys anything else that comes this week. We'll see you guys in the next one.